please like the video, please subscribe, and catch me every weekday after market close on the Smarter Gambling Show. So here is BBIG, Vinco Ventures. This finishes at $2.57 today. That is down 3.38%. But in the aftermarket here, this is up to $3.63. Haven't talked about the stock in a while, not for about a couple of months. This used to be a really hot stock when it first squeezed over $12. If you guys recall, I did predict that it would come back down to $3 to fill the gap. At the time, a lot of apes were not happy with that, but here we are. So this was one of the only bright spots in the major bloodbath today. And now this has over 5,000 mentions on StockTwits today. So once again, we're going to analyze it. So there was a reason as to why this stock went up so much in the aftermarket. We had some news. So let's check it out. So it looks like BBIG is finally going to pay out their dividend. About time. Took long enough. About 8 months. So it says May 18th is the date that everyone is going to get their dividend. For every 10 shares of BBIG, you will receive 1 share of Cryptide. So very big news for this stock. Very BBIG news for this stock. Get it? Apes liked it, jumped in here, and pumping the stock up. Over 37% in the aftermarket. Very nice. So I will say, this seems very similar to MMAT, or TRCH, back when it was Torchlight. The company announced dividend, it pumped, it squeezed, and after that, it came crashing down. But we'll get to that in a second here. So let's go ahead and analyze. So first of all, this looks like a cup and handle in the making. Bottom of the cup being 195, the low. And there can be multiple possible tops. It can be 350, 375, or 555. And longer term, this is part of an even bigger cup and handle. And this has the potential to go back up to 1250, the all-time high. So that's a bullish indicator. That is telling us that the stock should come back up to one of those tops to complete the cup. And then we do have a triple gap down. First gap down is at 955, so that's a bullish indicator. That is telling us that the stock should come back up to 955 to fill this gap. May take a while, but eventually it should. Second gap down is at 745, so another bullish indicator. That is telling us that the stock should come back up to 745 to fill this gap. And third gap down is at 585, so another bullish indicator. That is telling us that the stock should come back up to 585 to fill this gap. Down here on the MACD, the moving average convergence divergence, the MACD line has crossed the signal line, so that's a bullish indicator. That is telling us that it may be time to buy. And in the aftermarket here, this is running up to 363, so that's a bullish indicator for tomorrow. That is suggesting that tomorrow the stock will run to the upside as well. But also, if this aftermarket action holds, there's going to be a new gap up created tomorrow at 260. So that's going to be a bearish indicator that is telling us that the stock should come back down to 260 eventually to fill that gap. And if you guys want to follow along, the link to the chart is in the description down below. So right now this is trading between the sideways channel, the rectangle of 265 and 250. So if this goes to the upside, next levels of resistance would be 265, 275, 295, 305, 315, 320, 330, 340, 350, 365, 375, 390, 405, 415, 425, 440, 460, 475, 485, $5, 515, 535, 545, and then 555. There is resistance above 555, but we're not going to discuss that right now. And if this goes to the downside, next levels of support would be 250, 240, 225, 215, 195, 175, 160, 135, and then the low of 120. So right now at this current price, 257, the channels to the upside and the downside are pretty decently sized. So expect a regular amount of price action either way this goes. However, if/when this breaks 705 to the upside, the channels start to open up and get pretty wide. So expect a significant increase in price action if/when this breaks 705. And to the downside, if/when this breaks 195, the channels start to open up and get really wide. So expect a significant increase in price action if/when this breaks 195. RSI is currently at 49, so that is extremely average. So according to the RSI, the current price of 257 is right around fair market value. And tomorrow when this opens up, I'm sure it will be a lot higher. And this did 30 million in volume today, above the average of 24 million. So this pump/squeeze today was confirmed by the volume. Okay guys, just my opinion, not financial advice. So like I said earlier, this really reminds me of MMAT. or Torchlight, where they announced special dividend, the stock ran like crazy, short squeezed, and then right before the actual dividend date, the stock sold off really hard. So I'm kind of predicting the same thing for this stock. Don't know how high, but I think it's going to run up until March 18th or right before March 18th, and then it's going to dump pretty hard. But for right now, in the short and long terms, it looks really bullish. Got some strong bullish indicators in the cup and handle, triple gap down, aftermarket action, and MACD. Only bearish indicator is going to be the gap up created tomorrow at 260, and we have a neutral indicator in the RSI. So overall, it does look pretty bullish. So therefore, if you want to go long, not financial advice, you already missed about a 40% gain in the aftermarket here. That being said, there may be a lot more upside to go. Again, I have no idea how high it's going to go. That really all depends on how many apes come in here, how much social media momentum we get. But I do think this has the potential to go back up to 555 to complete the cup, 585 to fill the gap, 745 to fill the other gap, and maybe even 910 to complete this bigger cup. So personally, I wouldn't go for it because at this point, it's more like a gamble than an investment. So as long as you guys understand you are gambling at this point, I can't support it. I would just say hit the sell button eventually. Personally, I think it's better to sell this before the dividend date. Again, because I think once the dividend date happens, this is going to crash. So I would say going long here would be a high risk, high reward play. A lot of upside potential, but please hit the sell button eventually, guys. I don't think actually holding this through the dividend date is a good idea. You're probably going to be bag holding if you actually take the dividend. But that's just my opinion. Now, if you like this stock for the long term, I would say hold off for right now and wait for this to come back to 260, where the gap is. It should come back down there eventually, and I think that'd be a really excellent entry. Now, if you want to go short now, financial advice, it seems like a good play coming up, but not just yet. Again, I do think this has more upside potential. Should keep running until May 18th or around there. So I would say let it run for another 2 weeks, and either right before or on May 18th, that's when you should come in and short this. I have no idea how high it's going to run, but wherever it is, it should be a really good entry, and it should come back down to 260 eventually to fill the gap. And there should be a lot of money to be made here on the downside. A lot of downside potential after May 18th. So actually shorting at 360 is not a bad play already, as long as you're able to withstand some upside pressure here. But I think it's better just to hold off until May 18th or around there. Then short this down. Really shouldn't be too much more upside potential after that, and a lot of downside potential. So if you short it right now at 360, that would be a high risk, high reward play. But if you short around May 18th, that should be more like a low risk, high reward play, I would say. So pretty straightforward, guys. Great news. Very bullish. The chart looks really bullish in the short and long terms. This should keep running to the upside up until May 18th. And then I think it'll be pretty bearish after that. So if you want to quick scalp this, it seems like there's a lot of money to be made. But just understand it is a gamble. So please hit the sell button at some point. If you're in this for the long term, I would hold off. Try to get this back at 260. And if you want to go short, 360 is not a bad entry at all. But if you wait until May 18th, you should be able to get a much better entry with a lot less risk. Great shorting opportunity coming up here, just not yet. So there's money to be made here on both sides. Bulls make money, bears make money, pigs get slaughtered. So hope everyone makes a lot of money here. So congratulations to everyone who made money in the stock today, and good luck to everyone currently in the stock and to everyone looking to take a position. This is BBIG, Vinco Ventures. Thanks everyone for watching today. I appreciate you guys. Please like the video, please subscribe, and catch me every weekday after market close on the Smarter Gambling Show. You apes already know, diamond hands to the moon. I'm Ty. This is Smarter Gambling. See you guys tomorrow. Peace out.